You may be seated. We're back in session at calls number 324160. Case of South City, Texas versus Cleavon Demetrius Buxton. We have Mr. Buxton present in court with his attorney, Mr. Corey Crenshaw, and Mr. Jansen Bailey. The state is present with assistant district attorneys, Ms. Julie Maxey and Mr. Raymond Shearer. Let the record also reflect that the jury is present in the courtroom. Mr. Crenshaw, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense would call Carly Acleese.
Ms. Acleese, please stand here and raise your right hand, and the court reporter will swear you in.
Okay. You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Ms. Acleese, you may take the stand. And if you need to adjust the mic, you can. Mr. Crenshaw, you ready to proceed?
Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Carly Acleese.
Ms. Acleese, how are you employed?
I'm fine.
How are you employed?
I'm a registered nurse
All right, where at?
at the medical center of Southeast Texas.
Great. How old are you?
I'm 29, about to be 30 in 2 weeks.
All right, well, you don't look it.
Thank you.
How do you know the defendant in this case?
We're in a relationship.
All right, boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
All right, do you have any kids yet?
No, sir.
All right. And how long have you all been dating?
Almost 3 years.
All right. Well, I think you know why we're here, right?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to talk to you about the night that Cleavon got arrested.
Mhm.
It was back on June 29th of 2019. Do you recall that night?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you know who he went out with that night?
He was with his brothers.
Okay. And at some point that night, did you receive a phone call from him?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall approximately what time that was?
It was about 3:15 that morning.
Okay. And how long did the phone call last?
Maybe 20, 25 minutes.
All right. And when he called you, what did he tell you?
He told me that him and Alton were lost. Initially, he said maybe.
Objection, hearsay.
Objections sustained.
Okay. All right, without going into details as to what he told you, did you, what did you do next?
I got in my car to go find where he was.
And would it be fair to say he was drunk that night?
Yeah, I could tell he had been drinking.
Okay. And was he able to communicate to you where he was?
He was able to say that they were just somewhere in Beaumont, kind of close by his brother's house, but not exactly.
All right. And did you ever in fact find him then?
No, sir.
After looking for him, where did you go?
I went to his brother's house.
Okay. And at some point after that, you found out that they had been arrested?
Mhm.
I'll pass away.
Ms. Maxey?
Ms. Acleese, your testimony is that you never found them that night, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you never saw the car driving at any point?
No, ma'am.
And so you never saw who was driving, did you?
No, ma'am, but I did ask him.
Did
I
you-
could tell he had been drinking and I was concerned, so I made sure to ask had he been driving. He said no.
Do you have any actual evidence to present today that of what happened that night?
No, ma'am, just a phone call.
Did you offer any sort of statement to the sheriff's office after this?
No, ma'am.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Crenshaw?
What is your phone number?
409-543-4201.
All right. And what is Cleavon's number?
At the time, it was 617-2314.
Your Honor, if I may approach.
Yes.
I had previously, Your Honor, attempted to offer 6 Exhibit 2, which were the phone records, and it was objected to for relevancy. I would now say that since the state opened the doors asking what evidence she actually had that happened that night, we have the cell phone records to show that the phone call happened. That's perfect.
Your Honor, the state would maintain, would maintain our objection that's not related to the offense I had.
I mean, okay, go ahead on. You was getting ready to say something, Mr. Crenshaw?
Oh, I was waiting on the court to rule. I'm sorry.
I mean, you got, it's more than one number on there. I mean, it's like about 100 of them.
Oh,
From what I
no,
can
Your
see.
Honor, it just has Mr. Buxton's cell number and it has her cell number and the call at 3:09 a.m. It was for 20 minutes. That's what I want the jury to see. I mean, she left the impression that, you know, what she just testified to, she had no evidence of, and this is evidence that the phone call did happen.
Your Honor, I think you accurately portrayed what we're looking at here. There is pages of numbers there.
Well, we can take them all out and just go with page 25, but I have no problem reducing the exhibit from its number of pages to just a single page of the phone call.
You state, you have any other objections?
No other objections, Your Honor.
So your objection was relevancy, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and well, let me,
The state would also object that the document hasn't been authenticated at this point.
I did authenticate it, Judge, and their only objection was to relevancy when I had the witness on the
but
stand.
she just made another objection. She's saying her objection is relevant and that it wasn't properly authenticated.
But that was never her objection before. I guess we can call the previous witness back, but he did testify that this was a true and accurate depiction of his phone records.
Well,
Your Honor, at the time, you offered Mr. Crenshaw the ability to prove up with testimony.
I said he could develop the testimony as to the relevancy. That was, and I think he did that. But now with the objection in terms of authentication, I'm gonna sustain that objection. Is that a business record?
Your Honor, the previous witness testified that this was the actual bill that he received and that it was a true and accurate copy of the bill with all of Cleveland's phone calls and phone numbers that he had placed phone calls to. I think if I was offering this without a witness, I would have to have the business records affidavit, but I don't think that when it's being offered through an actual witness who received this from the phone company.
Yeah. I'm gonna sustain the objection that the state made. I think, let me see that document. I think it's. Thank you.
The phone calls on page 25.
Okay, now, Mr. Crenshaw,
Yes, sir.
you stated that you're offering just the,
Just page 25.
just that phone call?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, State, you have any objections to just that phone call being offered?
No objections, Your Honor.
Okay, it'll be admitted.
So
I guess
should
you'll
just
have
remove
to,
that one page, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right. Oh, don't touch it, please.
Yeah, you get some gloves. Right?
All right. On defendant's exhibit number 2, do you see a phone call on June 29th of 2019 that was placed to your number? And approximately how long does the phone record indicate the phone call was?
20 minutes.
I'll pass the witness.
Physically, how many times has Mr. Buxton called that night? But at no point you ever saw him, you never saw him in the vehicle, did you? So you don't actually know who was driving that night, do you?
He told me his brother was.
Well, but you didn't see who was driving that night, did you?
Correct.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Okay. Okay, Mr. Cleese, you may step down. Mr. Cleese, just want to inform you that you're under the rule. And what that means is you cannot talk to any witnesses about your testimony. Only person you're allowed to talk to about your testimony is the lawyers. And do not read any reports, look at television or anything that influence your decision. Now, Mr. Cleese, thank you for coming here today. You may step down and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
The defense rests, Your Honor.
Okay? Hey, do we have a rebuttal testimony?
None at this time, Your Honor. State rest.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the state has rested, and the court has to have what is called a charge conference so we can have our charge. The charge is the law that the court will read to you. The next time that you will come into court in a few minutes will be to hear the closing arguments of both the state and the defense. So at this time, we'll be in recess. Just follow the bill. Okay, be in recess. Okay, you may be seated.